Hello and welcome dear students. In today's video, I will talk about the chapter The Interview by Christopher Sylvester from the book, from class 12th book, Flamingo. Christopher Sylvester, born in the year 1959 in Cambridge, is a freelance journalist and author who writes for many magazines and newspapers. Now, let us see the introduction of the chapter, The Interview. This chapter, The Interview, is an excerpt taken from Christopher Sylvester's introduction to the Penguin Book of Interviews, an anthology from 1859 to the present day. And what is anthology? Anthology is a collection of poems or other pieces of writing by different authors, especially on the same subject. What is the central idea of this chapter? The Interview is an excerpt taken from Christopher Sylvester's introduction to the Penguin Book of Interviews. Despite the drawbacks of the interview, it is a supremely serviceable medium of communication. Part 1 of the chapter gives us two contrasting opinions about interviews. Some hate it, whereas others think it is a medium of communication. Part 2 is a part of Umberto Eco's interview by a famous journalist. Children, you will listen very carefully और आप पूरा वीडियो देखेंगे ताकि आपका कुछ भी मिस ना हो. मैं आपको हर एक पेज की पूरे चैप्टर की समरी बताऊं, डिटेल में बताऊंगी. Okay? Let us start, children. As I have already told you, this chapter is divided into two parts. Part 1 of the chapter gives us contrasting views of people about interviews. And part 2 is a part of Umberto Eco's interview with Mukund Padmanabhan from The Hindu. First of all, we start with part 1 of the chapter. Since its invention, a little over 130 years ago, the interview has become a commonplace of journalism. Several thousand celebrities have been interviewed. बहुत सारी celebrities का interview हो चुका है. It is not so surprising that opinions about interviews vary from person to person. हर एक इंसान का interview के बारे में अलग-अलग opinion है, अलग-अलग views हैं. Some might claim that in its highest form it is a source of truth and in its practice an art. Children, how interview is an art? Taking interview is not an easy task. When you are making your project files and your project is interview based, you also prepare so many things. You prepare a questionnaire, you select the right person, okay, and then you have to be very calm and composed while taking the interview. आपको बहुत ही patience के साथ काम करना पड़ता है. It requires a skill. One has to choose the right person, then prepare questions using clear language and making the other person relax and comfortable so that he or she answers your questions without any hesitation, without feeling uneasy or without feeling irritated. The celebrities who hate being interviewed consider it as an unwarranted intrusion, means they consider it very unpleasant, unnecessary, unjustified or unreasonable. Just as in ancient culture, taking someone's photograph is like stealing a person's soul. The famous authors V.S. Naipaul, who was a British writer, Lewis Carroll, he was the creator of Alice in Wonderland, they were strongly against interviews. Naipaul was of the view that people lose a part of themselves, whereas Lewis called it the horror of the interviewer and never agreed to be interviewed as he once had a very bad experience. Children, even the famous author Rudyard Kipling, he was of the same opinion that interviews are not a good thing. His wife Caroline wrote in her diary for 14th October 1892 that their day was spoiled by two reporters from Boston. She wrote why her husband, that is Rudyard Kipling, refused to be interviewed. It was a crime and should have a punishment. Though Rudyard Kipling had himself committed the same crime. उन्होंने भी वो गलती की थी जो बाकी इंटरव्यूअर कर रहे थे. मीन्स उन्होंने भी किसी का इंटरव्यू लिया और बहुत ही ज्यादा उनको परेशान किया. He committed the same crime when he interviewed Mark Twain. Children, in the year 1894, H.G. Wells called interviewing an ordeal, means very unpleasant experience. But he was a frequent interview, means वो बार बार इंटरव्यू देते थे. Though he would think कि अच्छी चीज नहीं है, लेकिन फिर भी उन्होंने काफी लोगों को इंटरव्यू दिए. 40 years later, he interviewed Joseph Stalin. Joseph Stalin was a great Russian revolutionary and an active political organizer. There was another famous writer named Saul Bellow who agreed to be interviewed on many occasions. Once he described interviews as suffocating. Children, there is this phrase in your book, like thumbprints on his windpipe. Means when we are not able to speak well, when we put our thumb on the windpipe, means suffocating. Though there had been many drawbacks, yet it is an important medium of communication. Interview is an important medium of communication. We come to know about so many things, so many people. People give us information, authors, politicians, or other famous celebrities from various fields. When they give their interviews, we come to know about so many things. हमें बहुत सारी चीजों के बारे में पता चलता है. बहुत अच्छी अच्छी बातें भी हम लोगों को पता चलती हैं. Our most vivid impressions of our contemporaries are through these interviews. Dennis Bryan, who was an author and a journalist, said that interviewer holds a position of unprecedented power that has never been seen or done before, and influence. Because it is due to their interview we come to know of what is happening around us. Children, I hope part 1 is clear to you. Now we start with part 2 of the chapter. It is about the interview of Umberto Eco, a professor at the University of Bologna in Italy. And the man who interviewed him was Mukund Padmanabhan from the famous newspaper The Hindu. Umberto Eco was a reputed scholar for his ideas on semiotics. What is that, children? It is the study of science. S-I-G-N-S, children. I spell it again. S-I-G-N-S, study of. It's not science, that subject. It is sign, symbols. Umberto Eco was a philosopher, academician, essayist, and a novelist. He was famous for literary interpretations and medieval aesthetics before he took to writing fiction. He used to write fictions, academic text, essays, children's books, and newspaper articles. In 1980, he acquired superstardom with the publication of his book, The Name of the Rose, which sold more than 10 million copies around the world. When asked by Mukund Padmanabhan how one can do so many things, very humbly said that he was always doing the same thing. He told Mukund that he had some philosophical interests and pursued them through his academic work and novels. His books for children are about non-violence and peace. He asked Mukund what would happen if we eliminate the empty spaces from the universe, eliminate the empty spaces in all atoms. The universe will be as big as his fist. He believed that humans also have a lot of empty spaces in their lives. He called them interstices, means small cracks, small spaces. He gave Mukund an example. Suppose Mukund was coming to his place and was in the lift. वो एक example देते हैं मुकुंद को कि मान लो तुम मेरे घर में आ रहे हो और तुम लिफ्ट में हो और मैं तुम्हारी वेट कर रहा हूँ. Okay? And he was in the lift. While he was coming up, he was waiting for him. Who was waiting? Umberto. He called that waiting time as interstice. वो जो waiting time है, जो खाली time है, जो free time है, जो empty time है, वो उनको बोल रहे हैं कि ये interstice है. He told Mukund he wrote an article in that time, जो उनके पास वो extra time था उसमें उन्होंने एक article लिख लिया. He does most of his productive work in that time only. Mukund told Umberto Eco that his non-fictional writing, his scholarly work, was different from a regular academic style, which was very dry and boring. His writing had a playful and personal touch. उनकी writing में जो है एक playful touch है, एक personal touch है जो सभी को attract करता है. Mukund asked Eco if he intentionally adopted this style. क्या उन्होंने जानबूझ के ये style adopt किया है? This informal approach, or it just came to him naturally? या ये उनके अपना ही style है, मतलब intention नहीं है, कुछ उनके अंदर से ही ये style निकला है. Umberto gave a long reply to this question. He said, when he was in Italy, he presented his first thesis while he was doing his doctorate degree over there. One of his professors told that his style of writing was unique. The professor appreciated Eco for telling his own trials and errors, whereas others would make false assumptions, then would correct them, and then would write their conclusions. Umberto's dissertation, his writing, means whatever he wrote in his thesis, it was published as a book. At the age of 22, Umberto understood that his way of writing was correct. That is why his essays always had a narrative approach, narrative aspect. At the age of 50, he started writing novels. His friend Roland Barthes, who was an essayist, he wanted to be a novelist like Umberto, but unfortunately he died before he could do so. वो भी उम्बर्टो की तरह से एक नॉवलिस्ट बनना चाहते थे. असल में वो एसेइस्ट थे, वो एसेज लिखते थे. उनके ये विश थी कि वो भी नॉवल लिखें, लेकिन ये काम करने से पहले ही he left for his heavenly abode. Umberto said that he became a novelist by chance, and it satisfied his taste for narration. Mukund told Eco that from a famous academic, he became an astounding novelist after the publication of this novel, The Name of the Rose. Umberto had written over 40 non-fiction works, one of which was the study of science, that is, semiotics. Mukund asked Eco if he ever got perturbed when he was called a novelist. The reply was yes. Umberto considered himself as a university professor who wrote novels on Sundays. जो कि खाली संडे को ही नॉवेल्स लिखते थे. वो अपने आप को समझते थे कि मैं एक यूनिवर्सिटी का प्रोफेसर हूँ, मैं नॉवलिस्ट नहीं हूँ. वो तो मेरा जो है फ्री टाइम का काम है, संडेज को लिखता हूँ मैं. He attended academic conferences instead of pen clubs and writers' meetings. He accepted that he was able to reach a larger audience by writing novels. Obviously, children, when his books became famous, his novels became famous, तो वो उसको बाकी उनको जो है बहुत सारे लोगों ने उनको जानना शुरू किया कि yes, he is the man who is a very good writer. He could not make 1 million people be interested in stuff on semiotics. अगर वो साइंस जो उनकी स्टडी ऑफ साइंस या सिंबल्स है उसके थ्रू उनके इतने सारे लोग उनको नहीं जानते जितना कि एक नॉवल लिखने से वो फेमस हो गए थे. Then Mukund came to the next question. Means उन्होंने अपना अगला क्वेश्चन पूछा. He asked, his famous novel The Name of the Rose was a serious novel. It was a long detective story and delves into metaphysics, theology and medieval history. Still, it was able to attract large number of people. Was he ever surprised at this success? Means his novel was about philosophy, religion and history, Middle Age history. Umberto said that he was not at all surprised. Only journalists and publishers are always puzzled, who believe that people do not like difficult reading. They want simple stuff. He said that he was able to reach only a small percentage of readers. Umberto told Mukund that he watched television after dinner at 9 p.m. and watched shows like Miami Vice and Emergency Room, but not all day long. The last question that Mukund asked Umberto was, if the mention of the period of medieval history has anything to do with the success of his novel. His reply was in affirmation. Yes, he agreed to it. He accepted it. Umberto said, yes, it could be possible. He told Mukund the story like a Chinese wise man. एक Chinese wise man की तरह से उन्होंने उनको आगे बताना शुरू किया. His American publisher had expected not to sell more than 3,000 copies. उनके जो publisher थे अमेरिका में उनको लगा only 3,000 copies would be sold in a country where no one had seen a cathedral or studied Latin. He was given money only for 3,000 copies. But later on, 2 to 3 million copies were sold in the United States. He said the success of his novel was a mystery. If he had written it 10 years earlier or 10 years later, it would not have been the same. Means the situation would have been different. The success of his novel remained a mystery. We learn, children, that interviews are not always bad, boring, or assaulting. They are very informative, as we see in Umberto Eco's case. Children, I have given you the summary of this chapter in detail. Hope you like this video. Stay tuned for more videos on different topics. इस वीडियो को लाइक करिए, चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करिए और अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ भी शेयर करिए. Thanks for watching my video.